Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Youth View, a podcast by Skill Creative. On this week's episode, we're going to be taking a deep dive into a bit more serious topic. After some recent events on the Central Coast, it's got us reflecting on the state of the world at the moment and how safe it is for young people. We're going to have a chat with Lachlan Hobman and hope you guys enjoy the episode. Stay tuned for more.
Hey guys, it's Ash.
I'm Charlotte.
I'm Nick.
And this is Jar of Truth.
So we'll go Ashton. What band are you currently obsessing over?
Right now I'm listening to the Kid Leroy, popping out really good music recently, so been listening to him.
What about you, Charlotte?
It's not really a band, but TV Girl, they're pretty good.
Me personally, I have two of my favourite. Definitely a band, Red Hot Chili Peppers or Black Pearl. Biggest inspiration?
Probably my mum. She's
your mum.
been raised me for 16 odd years, while my dad has just been like out of the picture, so it's just been
But
heaps
he's
good.
still like in the picture, kind of, but he's just...
He was in the picture for like 1 year throughout my whole lifetime.
Yeah, again, me personally, I'm going to follow off Ashton. My mum, 100% my mum. My mum, she's always been there for me and like...
Thanks, Nick.
Always been there through my highs and lows, and yeah, I just love her very much. If you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, who would it be?
They do not have their
What
pen
would it
license.
What would it be?
What would it be?
Yeah. What would it
You
be?
go.
Where's Margo?
Travis Scott?
No.
No?
No.
Some rap song?
No.
Go.
That's actually a tough question.
Yeah, real. So you got your white girl, white girl side of music, and then you got like your, like I like Katy Perry. Then you got your band side, and then you got your like rap
Your
side.
hip hop side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like? Okay. Do you like your? What's your rap side?
My rap side is like the basic like 21 Savage, a tiny bit of Lil Baby, The Baby,
So you
Adrian Harding,
Okay, you're weird.
and Travis Scott.
Okay, you're weird. My all-time favorite song probably have to be "Thank God" by Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Easily one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. I love that song. It's so good.
What about you, Charlotte?
I'd say Better in the Dark by TV Girl.
Okay.
Yep.
I gotta listen to him. I don't even know who that is. Me personally, yeah. But anyways,
Here we go.
I'll definitely go. I'll pick a rap song. I reckon. Yeah, rap song. Because I do listen to rap, but definitely like on a come up.
Yeah, by Lil Easy.
Yeah.
Tough.
What live performance you seen?
I'd say Green Day and Harry Styles.
You into Harry Styles?
Yeah, I did.
Tough. The only concerts I went to was Drake and Travis. They probably could have been the best concerts I've ever went to. The only two concerts I've ever went to. So yeah, that was very good. It was very good.
I've only seen one, and that's Lil Tecca, but I'm going to see Teddy Swims.
What month is that? Is it this year?
October.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. That's
That's
gonna be
so
tough.
cool.
Thank you guys for watching. This was Jar of Truth.
Hey guys, our next segment, we're lucky enough to talk to Lachlan Hobman, who is a young advocate on the Central Coast. Stay tuned for more. All right, guys, so we've got Lachlan Hobman here in the studio today, who is gracious enough to come in and do a bit of an interview with us today. How you doing, man?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you so much for coming in. So the podcast we're doing this week is kind of touching on a bit more of a serious topic. Obviously, the Central Coast lately has been devastated by the loss of Audrey Griffin, and there's just been some pretty tough things I think we've had to face as, you know, a community lately, and we feel that talking to you is something that we're really going to benefit from. And these guys are really excited to learn how they can apply these, you know, strategies that you might have come up with throughout your life to their own lives. And yeah, I guess, would you be able to tell us a little bit about yourself and
Yeah,
why you're here today?
yeah, I'd be more than happy to.
Awesome.
So like you said, my name is Lachlan Hobman. I grew up in a highly abusive household as a kid. My dad got custody of me, but due to PTSD and mental health issues, I was placed into the care system. So first I was in ACAs, which stands for Alternative Care Arrangements. So I was in hotels and motels. And then I went into the residential care system, which is group homes. Since turning 18, I have used all of my experiences throughout my entire life as a way to empower other youth going through similar things.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So would you be able to touch a little bit on how your upbringing has sort of shaped who you are today?
Oh, it's shaped me massively. No matter which way you look at it, if one different thing had happened in my life, I would have ended up somewhere completely different. If I had have stayed with my biological mother, and my dad hadn't have gotten custody of me, I wouldn't be here today. I would most likely be back home in the cemetery.
Yeah.
If I hadn't have been placed in the system, who knows where I'd be.
Yeah.
So my upbringing is the entire reason I'm able to do the work that I do. I wouldn't have made any of the connections or the friends that I've made over the years. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have what I have now,
Of course.
but I also wouldn't have had the pain.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because it's
Yeah.
like, it's such a, I mean, I can't speak from experience,
Yeah.
but I can imagine it's such a painful way to like experience your youth. Like
Yeah.
going through that has obviously shaped who you are, and as we can all see, has created someone who's already doing amazing things for the world, but it's just a hard way to learn that.
Yeah.
Like, and it feels like an unfair way to learn that. But
It is a bit, yeah.
It's amazing to see that you've come out of that positively, because I feel like it's probably really easy to not come out of that positively and use it in a negative way, but you've done the opposite and used it to be positive. So good on you for that, man. That's really amazing.
Appreciate it.
Do you have any advice to like your younger self? Like if you could give your younger self any advice, what do you reckon that would be?
Ooh, not really.
Not really?
No. So all the advice I got over the years, I got from two different people. And that was my mum and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So my stepmother was been in my life since I was 1, and she raised me as her own. So she's just my mum. And my dad has always been my champion. He's always fought for me.
Yep.
And he's always given me advice. And I would just say, listen to them.
Yeah. Awesome.
I already did, so
Nice.
I was able to be here.
From your experiences, did your home life affect your schooling, and if so, how?
Yeah, it really affected my schooling. Obviously, when I was younger and still living back in my hometown, school was very, very difficult for many reasons. One was it was hard to go into school, be covered in bruises, and get the weird looks from the teacher. But it also, because of the way that my hometown was structured and the way my home life was, everyone thrived off of violence. It was a very violent place. So I'd be covered in all these bruises, but yet I scared people because I was very violent. And when my dad got custody of me, my home life was very stable. I was on medication. My schooling was great. I went through until about year 3 or 4. I didn't go to any proper classes. So when my dad got custody of me, he actually taught me math and how to read and write and all that sort of stuff. And that's where I got my love of books. My mum, she bought me books all the time. And then after I went into the system, my school fell apart. I got expelled multiple times, and then I dropped out entirely in year 9. So most people, they go through a stable household throughout their entire lives. They pass year 12. I didn't even go to year 10.
Yeah. Do you think, like, would you have any advice for other kids in similar situations with schooling being tricky for them? Because I've worked in schools now for 5 years, and I've seen so many kids who have difficult home lives, and that instantly reflects on their schooling, and it affects their behavior in schooling and stuff like that. And I don't know, I think someone with your experience, any advice you would have for kids like that would be incredibly valuable.
It's a bit of a difficult...
a really difficult one.
subject. So if I could tell my younger self, I'd say keep on going through school.
Yeah.
Now that, you know, I'm an adult, it's very hard to get work with no year 10, no prior work experience or anything like that. But at the same time, I know the challenges that I faced. I know exactly what made it so difficult, and I know what makes it difficult for so many other people. So there's no one clear thing of stay in school or leave school.
Yeah.
It just depends on like your home life and also who you are as a person. But there's a quote that I've lived by for quite many years. If you're going through hell, keep on going.
Nice.
So it might be difficult, you just got to get through day by day.
Yeah. And then if it's like not too tricky to answer, would you be able to touch on how your journey through life has affected your mental health and how you've like battled with that?
Yeah. Going through life, it's massively affected my mental health. I have severe PTSD, and then throughout my entire teen years and when I was younger even, I have always suffered with severe depression. During my teen years and from about the age of 9 up until about 16, I attempted suicide multiple times. I was in and out of the John Hunter in their mental health ward. I had multiple 72-hour holds, and I've always been on medication. So it's massively affected it, and it does it the same for many other people.
Yeah. What are some strategies you've implied into your life to maintain some stability? Because with all the stuff that you're doing now, like, I'm sure it's still a battle every day. Like, I don't think you ever would get fully through something like that. I think it's something you would learn to manage, I guess. I don't know as much.
Yeah, it's more of a manage, not a cure.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I do is I love video games.
Nice.
So when I'm feeling low, I'll go back to some of my old favorite ones, old RPGs, Oblivion and Skyrim.
Wicked.
Or I'll dive into the world of books. I'm a massive Middle-earth fan, so I read Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, or I'll watch the movies.
So just like distractions in a way?
Distractions.
Yeah.
But then at the moment, I have been struggling with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's two things that I'm doing. Number one is I'm going to therapy.
Yeah.
As much as a kid, I used to say, it doesn't work. Just getting the stuff off your chest.
Yeah.
Just having someone to talk to, even if it's about stupid stuff, it helps.
Yeah.
And then the secondary thing is I've been doing my advocacy. When doing advocacy, it gives me a release. It gives me a sense of peace and passion, and I don't get it anywhere else.
I feel like in a weird way too, advocacy like is therapeutic.
Yes, it's very therapeutic.
Like, because the point of therapy being like, I'm going to talk about how I'm feeling, get it out on the table so I'm not, brushing it under the rug kind of thing. If you're sharing what you've been through with other people and other young people who are in a similar experience, you're essentially doing that.
Yeah.
And that's why I've love to see what you're doing, because I know it's not only helping other people, but it's probably helping you as much as it is them.
Massively.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah. And that's one unbelievably powerful thing about, sharing trauma and sharing, like struggles that you've faced, is that it hopefully one day can help you manage them better yourself.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Obviously, growing up, it's definitely been feeling like, for you, you'd feel sort of isolated from friends and family, and it's definitely would have affected you. Is there any advice you could give to other people on how they can help people that they know is going through hard times?
That one is actually an extremely good question. It is one of the topics that I talk about the most, is the social isolation while in the care system. something that you need to understand is when you're in residential care system or the care system as it is, you can't have friends coming over to your house. On top of that, you can't go out. If you leave the house without the worker, it is called absconding, and it is mandatory for them to call the police. So the isolation is massive, and because of that, I find it very difficult to connect and relate with people my own age. So I generally find people who are of a much older bracket to myself because I can relate to them a lot better. There's currently no advice that I can give on how to overcome the feeling of isolation, especially with people going through the system, because the isolation is there. All I can say is eventually those people, they're going to find someone that they're going to be close with and they're going to just instantly click with. I was very lucky. I found 2 people. Once you find those people, it's just going to feel like a breeze.
Yeah.
It's going to be super easy to overcome that feeling. But it will always affect you, the isolation that you go through in the system, because it massively impacts your life.
Yeah, it's not a normal like upbringing, like in
No.
any way, shape, or form.
No.
So it's that transition from, you know, where you were to where you are now must have been incredibly difficult.
Yeah, no, it was from going into the system to living on my own. It was very, very big change.
Yeah.
The residential care system, it's a bit of a chaotic place, and oftentimes it can be quite violent. I used to have to worry, like when going to sleep, I have to lock my door, and then like when we got locks, we didn't always have locks on our doors.
Yeah.
And then every time I'd go to sleep, be like, oh, is this the night that I'm going to get my door kicked down? Because it happened a fair few times. But now, like living on my own, the first couple months, I'd lock every door. Like I had a door in the hallway as well. So I'd close and lock the hallway door, close and lock my bedroom door. I'd make sure all the doors are locked, all the windows were locked, everything. Now I've got my fly screen on my door is the only thing that I keep closed for my balcony door.
Yep.
And every door in my house is just left open. I don't bother about the doors, and that's a massive change.
Yeah.
And then, like, yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's huge progress. One of the things we've been talking about on this week's podcast, or one of the things the guys have been talking about, is like whether or not the world is a safe place for young people, women in particular, with everything that's been happening on the Central Coast recently. A bit of a dark time for the Central Coast right now, and talking about the justice system, whether or not that's working. I mean, in our eyes, it's not lately, you know, like, and I think, yeah, just a question for you is like, do you think, or not even a question, like maybe just your opinion on what's a way we can achieve a bit more of a safer world for young people and women, you know, and what's some practices we can put into place to help that? Because I think the way to steer the world in the right direction is through young people and creating a better place for young people. And I think advice from people like you is crucial.
I personally have a very pessimistic view. I have, obviously, you know, all the people that I grew up with were not the best sort. I don't know much on how to speak about this particular topic due to the fact that I don't know much about the youth of today.
Yeah.
And the youth that I do know, I don't have much hope for them.
Yeah.
But, you know, coming into the studio here and the advocates that I've worked with, and then seeing the other, you know, the young guys that you got here, they kind of bring a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
You know, that they're on the right track.
Sick.
The advice that I would give is That's a very difficult question.
Yeah, sorry, I did throw it.
Yeah, no, that was
Crazy
kind of a
one at you
curveball. On how to direct the world in a better place. Focus more on animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, it's actually a good answer. Like,
yeah. No.
Thank you so much for coming in today. We really have had an awesome time getting to know you, and
Definitely.
Your insights on everything that we've talked about today are just so valuable, and we really, really appreciate it. And hopefully we can get you back in again soon and
I'd love to.
talk a bit more and
Absolutely love to.
do a 3-hour episode one day where we go deep.
Please.
That'd be
Please.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, mate. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was being an
The
idiot.
Lachlan Hobman interview was actually like very, very wholesome, like very heartfelt. It just felt bad for the guy, eh?
Yeah, I feel like he gave us a lot of good insight.
He did,
to
and
how
I
to
feel
cope
like
with it.
he didn't want to share what he said. Like I feel like he just got out of his comfort zone and just started sharing. When you were interviewing him, did he seem really calm? Like, did he seem?
Considering it's a very hard topic, yes, he was actually pretty calm about it. But it's
Yeah.
good that he's using experiences to actually help other people who.
It is. It
Yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah, especially the younger generation.
It is because
Yeah.
that younger generation can hear what he said on the podcast and just take that into consideration. Because
Yeah,
what do you imagine that what they're going through? They just heard that him say that. Like,
yeah.
it's just crazy. Someone shouldn't be going through that at that young of age, you know, especially
Yeah.
in foster care. So
Well, it's also good as well because he brings to light what the truth is with foster care and how they're treated, which is good. Well, not good what happened to him, but he's using like his experiences to
His
show.
bad experience.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
make good ones
yeah.
out of
Yeah,
it
for
and
sure.
Help the. Yeah.
So people can, well, just to bring to light what actually is going on in foster
Yeah.
care, because not a lot of people would know
no.
the true
Yeah.
like effects of what
But-
would happen.
But like also the way he like spoke and it was so fluent about something so hard to talk about. It was so like he's done it many a times. Like it's so good for him to share his experience and talk about what he's gone through and he's fine with it. Like he's actually getting comfortable with it. And the fact that he's growing over because stuff happened in his past, he had to lock all doors and stuff. Like that's so much like that's so good. Like that's so good for him. I'm
Yeah.
just happy for him.
Yeah, and
also-
then
Yeah,
Sorry, you go.
He was also talking about how he used to, when he first started living alone, he'd lock all of his doors.
Yeah.
And now he just leaves
yeah.
it all open.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was Lachlan Hobman. We really appreciate him for coming on. Like that was, that's surreal to talk about. But anywho, this workplace, the environment where they're working in, how we feeling it? How we feeling it? Like how is it?
second last day and it's going really good.
Good?
No
Yeah,
one
it's
go.
all good. Especially with this goat over here.
Yeah, this is the man, the myth, the legend.
That's the man.
Brad? Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
This is the man, the myth, the legends. But honestly, this has probably been, for me, I want to do this type of stuff.
Definitely.
I love this stuff. Like I would leave school for it. This is exactly this is why I wanted to do it.
Mm.
I wasn't
Yeah.
worried at all. Like I just wanted to get in and do it. Like
Well, it's a good experience as well. I mean,
it is.
media creation, that's used it like in every industry.
Yeah.
So getting experience now will definitely help no matter where you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. What are we rating it? On a scale of 1 to 10, what are we rating this
It's
place?
been my favourite work placement so far.
Oh God, yeah.
And I've done 5.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, been loving every bit of it. Yeah, just the how it's set out, how the staff is, how just the attitude of the whole place is just
The whole atmosphere.
just
Yeah.
everything, bro. It's just like it's so good. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast on YouthView. Make sure to check us out on all streaming platforms, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See you later. And enjoy the next clip. Just cut it.
Next up, we're gonna be doing a chat with the. Herbie, you're doing it, bro.
Coast in the. Oh, I'm having a mini B right now. Mental breakdown.
Hey guys, now next segment is whoa.